as it did tonight, to the idea that every time the opponent comes forward, they look like they're going to score. Did Chelsea do anything that surprised you tonight? Was that a game plan failure or an execution failure?
I agree with you that it was one of the things that I'm most disappointed with in our performance, how much we allowed Chelsea to play within our organization. Of course, that's their plan in when they're playing Lauren James as a 9, is to drop with her, is to be able to get her turning with the ball and dictating play, and I think she's very, very good at that. I do think we deal with that very, very poorly, especially in the first half. And that's a big part of us not performing well enough to be able to achieve the result we want today. And then that comes into saying, why is that? That's always the coach. That's always the coach that needs to prepare his or her player better for that.
And as well as like the tactical side of it, would you agree that Chelsea played with greater intensity as well, won more of the duels?
Yeah, I mean, they clearly set out with being very, very compact in a 4-4-2, and they want to win the ball at their midfield, and they want to counterattack from there on. There's a very, very clear strategy in the game. What you can't do against a team with that strategy is start turning over the ball at the midfield. Because when you turn over the ball at the midfield, you have 2 forwards and you have 2 wingers that you need to deal with in that moment. And naturally, you will be a little bit more expansive in your... That's the one moment where you can't turn over the ball. And in the first half, we keep on turning over the ball in those situations for it. And they have a lot of players facing forward here. And that becomes really, really dangerous. They are ruthless with the opportunities they take. I do think when you look back at the first half, that they almost score on all opportunities that they have. They're very, very effective on that. But it's not good enough from our side to turn over the ball that many times in those moments, in combination with being that weak in our defensive organization. Then we can't expect to win the game.
Thanks, Tim. We'll go Gary from Sky and then at the front.
I know it's only still March. The gap's now 6 points. Is that the WSL title over for this season?
This game here has been taking 100% of my focus, before, during, and now after. The league table, not. So that's not where my energy goes right now.
What happened regarding the socks?
Yeah, it was a clash of color with kids, which obviously came to mine and the players, but also the other team's attention very, very late. I mean, we were on our way out and we get told that we can't go out and play with the kit that we have, and we have to adapt. And that was definitely a first for that to happen, and we needed to do the best of the situation. But I'd be very clear saying that was exactly the same for the other team as well. I'm not going to be drawn into making any excuses and so on. I think that's ridiculous in trying to do that.
I was going to ask whether that would have affected the players, but you played that clearly.
It's the same for both teams.
You had to go to the gift shop to get socks, is that right?
I was not involved in that process in how that was resolved and so on. We have other people doing that, so I just know that we eventually got the kit on that was approved to be able to let the game go ahead. Thank you.
Funny.
Jonas, it's a high-profile game. The game's on Sky. It's here at Stamford Bridge. How sort of unacceptable do you think that is as a mistake? The socks.
Like I said, the only thing I've been told was that there was a clash of colours with the kits, and then after you have to look into why that was. I have no idea why that was.
Before the first goal, I saw you sort of remonstrating with the fourth official about a challenge from Lauren James on one of your players. She went down the other end and scored. How frustrating was that for you to see?
Like I said, margins sometimes over here, but I also be very clear on that. The referee had no part in why we didn't win or lose this football match. This was down to our performance for it, turning over the ball too many times on the transitions and being too weak in our defensive organization. It has nothing to do with the game starting late or referee's decision and so on. Take full accountability for our performance. Thanks.
Tom?
Hi, just quickly to follow up on one thing Gary asked. How late did you find out? Were you already in the tunnel walking out with the socks, or were you in the dressing room? How late was it?
It was when we were going to leave the dressing room to go out to the tunnel. So it was a very, very late call and notice. But like I said, it is what it is. And we just had to adapt, and it was the same for both teams.
In terms of the title race, I appreciate what you said to Gary about the fact that you're thinking about this game. But I suppose now looking forward, can you foresee a scenario where Chelsea lose twice? Do you think that they're going to slip up in that way? Because obviously I know you can win all your games, but can you see them slipping up?
Like I said, it hadn't taken up anything of my thoughts. So my energy and focus has been on this game, not on the future games. So I'm in no position to comment on that.
Yeah.
Hi, so I was just wondering, it seemed like an exact almost reverse of the fixture at the Emirates where your side of quite ruthless with every chance they got in the first half. I was just wondering if you thought there was anything in just the momentum of being the home side in these kind of games, because it just seemed like a very similar but opposite kind of game, if that makes sense.
No, I can see that point. Obviously, a home crowd can create momentum when you score a goal and so on. And do they capitalize on that momentum? I think they do at times in first half, and they're doing that well. I said it before the game, and I think it came to no surprise to anyone to say that the performance that Chelsea had in December at Emirates, I think it was a performance that really hurt them, because that's not the side that they see themselves as. And if there was one thing that was absolutely given today, was that they were going to come out and from an effort level and from a physical level, trying to prove that performance in December, that was wrong. And we was prepared for that, but I think we didn't deal with that well enough, like I said before, and that created a lot of those moments. And when you get these when you lose the ball in the wrong moments to it, and Chelsea does that in the December game as well. There, I think it's the similarity, and we do it today. It looks you always look very slow in those moments because you don't anticipate over it. While their first step is obviously in the right direction. So disappointed that we couldn't deal with that better.
Thanks, guys. We'll leave it there.
Thank you.
Thank you.